I'm 73 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that might upset you. Everything you think you know about getting older is wrong. Not slightly wrong. Completely wrong. And the worst part is this. The people who were supposed to warn you about it, your parents, your teachers, society itself, either didn't know the truth or were repeating the same lies they were taught. My name is Henry Lawson, and for the first 50 years of my life, I believed those lies without question. I truly thought I had life figured out. I had the career people respected. I had the house that proved I'd made it. I had the approval of my peers and the quiet pride of thinking I was doing everything right. From the outside, my life looked solid, successful, even admirable. Then, when I was 52, something happened that shattered everything I thought I understood. And what I've learned in the 21 years since has completely changed how I see life, aging, and death itself. But before I tell you what happened, you need to understand why I'm telling you this at all. I'm not here to sound wise. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm doing this because I'm running out of time, and there are things you need to hear before it's too late. Not for me, for you. At 52, I had what doctors politely call a cardiac event. That's the gentle, professional way of saying my heart nearly killed me. I was sitting in a meeting, arguing about quarterly projections and numbers that don't matter now, when the room suddenly started spinning. My chest tightened, my vision blurred, and everything went dark. The next thing I remember was waking up in a hospital bed. Tubes were running into my arms, machines were beeping steadily, and my wife, Margaret, was standing in the corner crying, trying not to let me see how scared she was. The doctor told me I was lucky. Lucky. I'd just come face to face with my own mortality, and they called it luck. At first, that word made me angry. But lying there with nothing to do but think, I realized they were right. Because in that hospital bed, something far more terrifying than the heart attack hit me. I realized I had been living my entire life on autopilot. I wasn't really alive. I was just moving from one responsibility to the next, checking boxes, meeting expectations, doing what I was supposed to do instead of what actually mattered to me. And here's the thought that still haunts me. If I had died that day, if my heart had stopped for good, what would I have left behind? A nice house someone else would live in, a retirement account someone else would spend, a collection of achievements that would be forgotten within a few years. That's it. That's when I finally saw the biggest lie we all tell ourselves. I have time. I'll do it later. I'll live the life I want when I'm older. I hear people in their 20s, 30s, even 40s saying the exact same thing. When I make more money, then I'll be happy. When I get that promotion, then I'll slow down. When the kids are grown, then I'll travel. When I retire, then I'll finally do what I love. Let me save you decades of regret with one simple truth. That day never comes. The goalposts keep moving. You get the promotion, and suddenly you need the next one. You make more money, and suddenly you need even more. You're always chasing something just out of reach. And one day, you wake up old, wondering where your life went. I know this because I lived it. I spent 30 years climbing a ladder only to realize, when I finally reached the top, that it was leaning against the wrong wall. And here's the cruel part. You can't climb back down and start over. Time doesn't work that way. No one tells you this when you're young, but success is a terrible goal. And I say that as someone who achieved everything he set out to achieve. I made partner at my firm. I bought the house. I earned the respect of my colleagues. And none of it mattered the way I thought it would. You reach your goal, and for maybe a day or two, you feel incredible. Then the feeling fades. You're back where you started, needing a bigger goal, more validation, another achievement. It's a hamster wheel, and it never stops. I had a close friend named Richard. He worked 70-hour weeks his entire life, built a multi-million-dollar business, never took a real vacation. He kept saying he'd slow down next year. Next year finally came, and he had a stroke at 68. At his funeral, his son stood up and said, "My father was a successful man, but I barely knew him." I still hear those words. And I'll ask you what I asked myself that day. Is that the legacy you want? Your deepest regrets won't be about the things you did wrong. They'll be about the things you never did at all. I don't lie awake thinking about failed business deals. Those mean nothing now. What keeps me awake are the experiences I postponed. The trip to Japan I never took because I was too busy. The relationship with my brother Samuel that I let fall apart. The book I always wanted to write but never started. The evenings I missed with my children because I stayed late at the office. These regrets don't fade with time. They grow heavier. The missed opportunities, the love you didn't express, the risks you didn't take because you were afraid. You think you have unlimited time with the people you love. You don't. One day, that time runs out. My father died when I was 45. We had a complicated relationship, and I always believed we'd fix things someday, when I was less busy. That day never came. He had a heart attack and was gone within hours. My biggest regret isn't what we argued about. It's all the Sundays I didn't call, all the dinners I skipped, all the small moments I assumed I could make up later. There won't always be more time. After my heart attack, I made changes, real ones. I stepped back from work. I started saying no to things that didn't matter, and yes to things I'd postponed for decades. In these last 21 years, I've learned more about life than I did in the previous 52. What matters is embarrassingly simple. Time with people you love. Work that feels meaningful to you. Experiences instead of possessions. Memories instead of status. Being present instead of constantly distracted. I know how this sounds. When I was younger, I would have rolled my eyes and said I had bills to pay and responsibilities to handle. And yes, you do. I'm not telling you to abandon your life. I'm telling you not to sacrifice what truly matters for things that don't. So, here's the question I want you to ask yourself, honestly. If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived so far? Not impressed. I'm 73 now, and I've been fortunate to have good health since that heart attack. But every morning I wake up knowing I'm on borrowed time. We all are. Most people just don't realize it yet. I have 3 grandchildren, and when I look at them, I see the same stress, the same anxiety, the same chasing I once did. I try to share what I've learned, but they don't really listen. Not because they're bad kids, but because they can't yet. They're living in the middle of the storm, and from inside it, the patterns are hard to see, not because they're bad kids, but because they can't see it yet. They're living inside the storm. When you're surrounded by wind and noise, everything feels urgent, everything feels personal, and you convince yourself that your situation is different, that the old rules don't apply to you, that somehow you'll figure it out later. That's why I'm making this video. Not to lecture, not to scold, but because maybe, just maybe, if enough people hear this, someone will pause. Someone will make a different choice. Someone will avoid the regrets that still visit people like me in quiet moments. Here's the truth nobody likes to hear. You're getting closer to death every single day. I know that sounds harsh, but it's also the most honest thing I can say to you. You don't have unlimited time. Neither do the people you love. Your parents, if they're still here, are getting older every day. One day, and it will be sooner than you think. They won't be. Your friends, your partner, your children. None of these relationships are permanent. Life doesn't warn you before the last conversation, the last hug, the last ordinary moment that turns out not to be ordinary at all. So what are you going to do with that reality? Are you going to keep putting off that phone call? Keep postponing that trip you've talked about for years? Keep telling yourself you'll make time later when things calm down, when life is easier? Or are you going to wake up today and start living like your time actually matters? Because it does. If I could go back and sit down with my 30-year-old self, if I could look him in the eyes before the stress and the years hardened him, here's what I would say. Stop trying to impress people who won't matter to you in 10 years. Stop trading your health for a paycheck that can never give you back the years it takes. Stop postponing joy like it's some reward you'll earn in the future. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you want. No one is coming to hand it to you. Call your parents more often, even when you don't know what to say. Take the trips you keep promising yourself you'll take someday. Do the things that scare you, because fear is usually guarding something important. Say no to obligations that drain you dry. Say yes to experiences that make you feel alive. And most importantly, start now. Not next year, not after this project, not when you have more money, more time, or more energy. Start now. Because I promise you this, the perfect time never comes. Life is always messy. There will always be bills, responsibilities, and reasons to wait. But if you keep waiting, you'll wake up one day and realize you waited your entire life away.
I'm 73 years old.
If I'm lucky, I might have 10 or 15 more years, maybe 20 if I'm truly blessed. Probably less. And strangely enough, I'm at peace with that, because these last 20 years have been the richest years of my life. Not because I earned more money or gained more status, but because I finally started living on purpose. I started appreciating ordinary days. I started prioritizing what mattered instead of what looked impressive. I traveled to places I'd only seen in books. I repaired relationships I once thought were beyond saving. I grew closer to my children and watched my grandchildren grow. Really watched them, without checking the clock. I picked up hobbies I abandoned decades earlier. I forgave people I carried resentment toward not because they deserved it, but because I deserved peace. And I said, I love you so often that it became a habit instead of a hesitation. Here's the irony. I'm happier now at 73, with less time ahead of me than I ever was at 30 when I thought I had forever. When you truly understand that time is limited, something shifts inside you. You stop wasting it. You stop postponing joy. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. You have a choice right now, today. You can keep living the way you are, chasing success, delaying happiness, telling yourself you'll make time later. Or you can wake up and realize that time is moving faster than you think, and the life you're waiting to live has to start now. I can't make that choice for you. All I can tell you is this. You don't want to be 73, sitting alone with your thoughts, wishing you had made different choices. Don't waste 50 years learning this lesson the hard way. Learn from my mistakes. Live intentionally. Prioritize what truly matters. Stop waiting for someday. Someday is today. It always has been. If this spoke to you, share it with someone you care about. Leave a comment and tell me what you're going to do differently. And if you want to hear more hard truths from someone who's lived long enough to earn them, stay with me. I don't have unlimited time left. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with yours?